What are some of the best choices you've made in your life? When I was in kindergarten, if you did stuff well and didn't get in trouble, you earned points that you could buy a reward with. I saved mine up for a long time to get a mini gumball machine. But when I finally went to get it, I made a split-second decision to buy a glass rose. That was another one of the prizes because I was about to visit my grandma and I wanted to give her something. Now every time I visit my grandma for years, I get a little warm feeling seeing that rose sitting carefully in her living room above the fireplace. Losing weight. Skin got better. Easier to find clothes. Better social interactions. Lesser judgmental comments. Quitting smoking. I smoked for 9 years and quit 5 months ago. One of my favorite things I can do now is run. As a smoker, I could never run for more than 2 minutes without dying. Now I proudly have a 7-minute mile. I wish I could go back in time and undo all the damage smoking did to me. But all I can do is push forward from here and be glad I don't smoke. Screw cigarettes. My ex-girlfriend got hooked on heroin, so I broke it off. 1. I slipped a Narcan into her bag before she walked out the door. 2. Later that week, I heard she tried to purposely OD. Someone found the Narcan and brought her back. Apparently, she turned her life around after that. I had a rule. Don't flirt if there is no possibility of a relationship. My thinking was, if this go badly, you're just embarrassing yourself. And if things go well, you're just setting up for disappointment. While at my college roommate's wedding, I broke that rule to flirt with a maid of honor. Even though she lived 3 time zones away. Yeah, we're married now. Long ago and far away, after agreeing with my partner that it would be best for us to terminate her unexpected pregnancy, I changed my mind and chose not to. That night I lay awake, wrestling with our decision and its implications, projecting the what-ifs and the maybes into the future as far as I could. Finally, I realized 2 things with absolute certainty. That I love my partner with all my heart, and that the plan we'd set our minds to before going to bed would slowly erode our relationship until it was no more. In the morning, when she woke up, I kissed her gently, told her that I loved her deeply, wanted to have the baby, and asked her to marry me. Here, decades later, having raised and loved the beautiful daughter that was that baby, it was, and remains, the single best choice I've ever made in my entire life. Breaking up with the emotionally manipulative girlfriend. I think we're all in that situation with a partner at some point or other, and finally taking the step to get away from them and realize you don't need them is a big part of emotional maturity. Stop stressing about school and grades so much. My whole life I've felt like it's been a swirl of a and GPA. When I realized I wanted something else after school, my entire outlook and motivation to exist changed. Late edit. I understand reasons that people have to stress about grades, such as a competitive major, graduate school, or scholarships. I should have emphasized being disillusioned with a chosen major and the pressure of having to decide your life's career so young. Well, I'm heading back to college in the fall to study something different. I just beat cancer and have been feeling bored with the work I do lately. So I want to study something else and make a change. It's exciting and I'm feeling really positive lately. Smiley face. Having a full hysterectomy due to endometriosis and adenomyosis, so that I could be healthier for my daughter while her dad battles a very rare form of cancer. We are no longer together, but are best friends and co-parent very well. Marrying my wife, along with being a loving, hilarious, gorgeous geek. She had the emotional intelligence to help me go to therapy and get past decades of baggage from my family, because she had done the same to get through her childhood issues. I love seeing how she is as a mother to our 2 kids. I'm so glad they'll never have reason to fear their mother like I did. Deleting all my social media. I don't consider Reddit SM. It's helped a lot with only concentrating my time on people who I care about/care about me. Also, you lose FOMO. Got off my prescription anxiety medication, first Valium, then Klonopin, which I was on between 10th grade to my freshman year of college. I got hooked on the shits. started abusing them to get high, experimented with other prescriptions, stole prescriptions, stole money from my family. I was a major scumbag, to be honest. But after drugs lead me to dropping out of college, I decided that was it. All they did was make me tired and lazy, and I turned into such a bad person. But upon getting off them, with the help of my psychiatrist, I started a regular gym routine, got my first job, enrolled in EMS classes, and got back to community college. Now I'm a nursing student with a job in EMS, and I look and feel better than I ever have before in my life. I have no regrets, and I feel fortunate that I got to get my life back on the road it was meant to be on, because I know a lot of other people have not. While in a tumultuous relationship, I chose to not be jealous or resentful towards my partner or anyone else. The biggest thing was realizing that it truly was a choice. When I felt jealous, I previously took it personally, for no reason whatsoever, but felt so much more free, stable, and loving when I chose to not do that. It's carried over to a lot of other aspects of my life and has truly helped me to judge and take situations for what they are, allowing me to feel loved a lot easier. This is cliche and cheesy as hell, but who cares? I chose not to try to kill myself again after a failed attempt when I was 19. When I woke up in that hospital bed, surrounded by friends and family, it was the wake-up call I needed. Up to that point, I hadn't realized how my death would affect those around me. I honestly thought I would just fade away, leave no void behind me. Seeing how many people wanted me to recover showed me that my death would hurt more people than I knew. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. But I dragged myself out of that depression without any medical help, having exhausted all the options available to me. And now it's 7 years later. I'm not recovered, and things will probably always be difficult. But I will never try that again. Not now that I know what I'd be leaving behind. Leaving an abusive relationship, even though I love them very much, sometimes you have to put yourself first. It sounds super trivial, but keeping a diary, even if it's just to keep track of what you did that day. Our memories can only store so much. Being in touch with your feelings and exactly how you live your life on a day-to-day basis makes a huge difference to your overall well-being. Writing something down not only makes you realize exactly how you feel, but it forces you to accept something rather than repress it. And that's the first step in tackling troubling thoughts. It's done wonders for my mental health and working out what my goals in life are. I quit Facebook long time ago. Even though all my family and friends are still there and updating regularly. Finally getting onto antidepressants and anti-anxiety medication. Legit a night and day difference after several months and changing of dosage. Therapy was helpful, but mine was bad enough to merit medicine, and it'll never go back. Walking out of an easy job. Paid the bills with minimal effort, but I knew I was capable of more. Knew if I waited to job hunt and get interviews, I'd just keep putting it off. If I quit, I had to do something. Went to lunch. Didn't go back. 2 years later, I've doubled my income at a job just as easy, except I actually feel like I have a chance of getting ahead now. Stopped doing hard drugs. Finished treatment for Hep C, cured. Going back to school for what I love, architecture. Just bought a car and have held down a job for the past year. Going minimalist with my possessions. It's just simplified a lot of things in my life and given me focus. Turning my back on my racist ideals. It's a lot harder than you can imagine. It's never fully healed. Recently, it was choosing the professor that I did to be my mentor, or however you call it in English, for my bachelor's thesis. I am fairly certain I managed to complete it on time solely based on this one professor, who both motivated me, wrote to me and regularly asked how it's going, and also gave suggestions on books and a lot of other help. I know some of my classmates who didn't make it, and unsurprisingly they had mentors who pretty much gave no help and left them on their own.